everyone, welcome back to Supermarket Simulator. As I was getting ready to record something else today, I discovered that there actually has been a change to this game, and it's one of the ones that I actually talked about. So maybe Supermarket Simulator developers, that's what they're called, watched my video. Probably not. They probably just did this either because they were already going to, or because, wait a minute, you can discount things now. That's new. Well, that's new, and also the other thing that was the thing that I was talking about a few episodes ago was now you can, let's see. Okay. You can get more achievements than you used to be able to. There used to only be 3 achievements for the whole game, and now there are 15. And some of them I have technically already accomplished, but because the update is new, it has not registered that it has been accomplished. So what I'm kind of debating right now is whether I want to start over again from the beginning. Which I kind of don't want to do because I like how my store is, but at the same time, I feel like I want to start fresh for the new update. And it's like, I love all of this. This all looks so good. I can't decide. I think I'm going to do it. I think I am going to restart it. I've given everyone a last look at it. I wish you could save more than one game at a time. That's something that would be cool. Either way, I can't go back now. Another thing that I wanted to see whether it works is this was like another reason I was kind of thinking about starting over again anyway. Well, 2 things. I want to try to play this game where I don't take any loan ever except for the first one, because I cannot start this supermarket with only $50. But if I take only one loan and then never another loan, I want to see what happens with that. Also, oh my gosh. I want to see if I can throw away the plain shelves if I wanted to get colored shelves and make them all symmetrical, which is not something that I'm going to do immediately, but is something that I want to see about later. Also, I will give a disclaimer. I just finished recording pools for the first time, which is very fun. I really like the game, and I've been looking forward to playing it for a really long time. But, it was hard to play with some of my autistic sensory issues. And so if I seem a little more out of it than normal and more distracted, and also if I stand still in this game more than usual because I'm trying to deal with my eyes being weird from all the visuals in that game, that's why. It's Friday, so I'm trying to get a bunch of stuff recorded so that I can just get it uploading over the weekend. I want to try and catch up and be productive this weekend, both for YouTube and for academic things. And so with that, I am trying my best. I'm going to get more of these. But this will probably be the last thing I record for today. But I just wanted to come play it because I saw the update to it and I got really excited. Also, I've been playing Clothing Store Simulator recently, which is pretty similar to this in a lot of ways. Except that it has some differences, and a lot of the controls are very, very similar. Except they use different keys or different mouse buttons, and so I feel like going between the two, I might mess up which controls are what every once in a while. But Supermarket Simulator is really fun. And every time I say Clothing Store Simulator, I have to try really hard not to say Supermarket Simulator. So anyway, I'm gonna try and get everything on the shelves and then just stand at the checkout all day, because visually things are weird right now. Cosmos is snoring under the desk, being cute. Nope. Those go there. It's fun how many updates this game has gotten recently. I feel like they update really regularly, which is nice. It's very enjoyable. This game is so fun, but I feel like it's a game that quickly could become really repetitive. But the way that they keep having new stuff, it's like I could play this for so long and not be bored of it. Also, just for me, it's really, really satisfying. But I could see how for other people it might get repetitive, potentially. Okay. Oh, that's what that does. That's not what Okay. You can't place things down anymore, which is interesting. Just making sure that I have everything on the shelves. I do. Right? Yes. Okay. Everything's priced. Everything looks great. It's kind of hard starting over from the beginning. I'm happy I did. It's satisfying, but it's definitely different having my whole really nice store. Alright, finally customers, yay. They changed the packaging of this. Exact change. Two exact changes in a row. Good job. I forgot how slow customers come in at the beginning of the game. Three exact changes in a row. Ah, you ruined it. Alright. That guy just walked through a box. Cosmos is snoring so much, it's really cute. He is exhausted. He's actually under this desk this time, instead of being under the other desk across the room, because usually he's under that desk because he has an actual bed under that desk, but he's got one of his blankets under this desk and he wanted to be close, so he's just curled up, really cute, resting. Yes, exact change. Thank you. Also, it might rain soon here, which is weird, because it was really warm and sunny earlier. And then just kind of out of nowhere, it's been saying it's gonna rain most of the night, and also tomorrow. So, I'm excited though. I love rain. Perfect. Is that change? Good job. This door is so tall for the size of people that walk through it. That's something I've never commented on before, but I did notice a while ago. Like, she's half the height of that door. have been debating for like the last 3 minutes whether I should say anything about this, but I feel like I should. I don't like to get political in my videos. I like to kind of leave that as my own personal thoughts and feelings and issues and everything. But I do feel like certain political comments have been made recently in the US that it feels kind of cheap to be addressing that while I'm playing a game, but I'm just thinking about it because there have been comments made about autistic people. And I'm very open about the fact that I'm autistic and that I have struggled with many things and that a lot of stuff is stuff that I have a harder time with, lots of stuff like that. However, there were statements made, including that autistic children ruin families, which is absolutely not true. I know some families have a harder time raising autistic children, which is, it depends on the family. But my family is absolutely not ruined by the fact that I'm autistic. And I know so many families are not. So many families love their kids for who their kids are. It doesn't matter if they're autistic or not, which is really good. But another comment that was made, which is why I thought about it while playing this game, is that autistic people can't hold jobs or contribute to society. And as an autistic person who has worked a job and who does pay taxes and did my own taxes this year for the first time and who is about to get 2 bachelor's degrees and has an education and has had meaningful romantic or personal relationships that aren't romantic, autistic people can work jobs. They can contribute to society. However, society is the problem because the autistic unemployment rate in the US is over 80% because of stigma, where employers will not hire an autistic person, or employers don't want to give an autistic person reasonable accommodations, like being able to wear a noise-canceling device or sunglasses or something to deal with sensory inputs. But that how many autistic people are unemployed doesn't reflect on the autistic person's ability to work quite as much as it reflects on society's willingness to accommodate autistic people and make a place for them. The problem in autistic people ruin families too is also like autistic people don't get the support they need and their family doesn't get the support they need. So it isn't the autism that is causing all these problems, it's society's reaction to it and society's stigma to it. And like I said, I don't want to get really, really political, but as I've been playing Supermarket Simulator and also Clothing Store Simulator now, which is really, really similar to a job that I actually worked and was paid for and had tax forms and paid taxes on and went to consistently and all of that, I feel like as a person who has talked so much about being autistic, it seemed like it's something that I should say, because I do realize that I have somewhat of a platform here, and regardless of how many people watch this or not, I feel like autistic people need all the people standing up for them right now that they can get, whether that is other autistic people or just people who care about autistic people. What's happening politically right now is making a really unsafe situation for a lot of autistic people, and causing a lot of mental and emotional distress for a lot of autistic people and their families. And it's all false information. Yes, there are some autistic people who can never have a full, meaningful relationship or hold a job. There are also non-autistic people who can never have a meaningful relationship and hold a job. There are so many autistic people who do. I know an autistic couple who's married and very, very happy, and I know families of autistic kids who love and accept their kid just as much as if they weren't autistic, my family being one of them. My parents didn't understand my condition because they weren't given support, and I didn't understand my condition because I wasn't given support. But my diagnosis didn't make my family suddenly destroyed. And saying that is really harmful to autistic people who are already told by society that they are the problem, that they are not good enough, that they are causing inconveniences for people around them by asking for reasonable accommodations or other things to make them safer, happier, healthier, meet their needs. And this stigma by really uninformed people is really, really, really dangerous. And I don't normally talk about politics here, and I feel like regardless of what party people are aligned with, I feel like there's something really wrong with saying that an entire demographic of people ruins their families just by being that demographic, and that all of that demographic can never be useful to society or can never be employed or have a good relationship or all these other things. It's so problematic to have these blanket statements made, because autism and many other conditions, but especially autism, has so much stigma around it already and so much misinformation around it already that it's really, really dangerous and really, really unsafe for these people to be saying this, because it's justifying really harmful practices. It's also justifying employers being able to not hire autistic people because they're autistic, which shouldn't technically be happening, but it does. And it's just I've been playing all these games that are kind of like job simulator games, and I've been thinking about this the past few days, and it's been really hard for me with everything that's being threatened towards autistic people in the US right now. This is the most unsafe I've ever felt from a political situation, because I am not cis female, I am not straight, and I am also autistic. And a lot of those things are being threatened right now in the US, which really sucks. And I know it's a situation that a lot of people are dealing with, and a lot of people don't feel safe in the US right now. And I know there's so many minorities that are being attacked right now, and I can't speak for a lot of those minorities because I don't want to speak for anyone that I am not part of that minority. However, autism is something that I talk about a lot, it's something that I am, and it's something that I feel like I should say something about, especially while playing a game about working a job that is a job that I realistically could do as an autistic person. And so this got a little bit more serious and ranty and everything than I was necessarily intending it to. This has just been a rough time with everything going on, and I don't know, I feel like I said, people who can talk in defense of autistic people, I feel like should. I feel like we need more understanding and support, not just for autistic people, but for all the people who are currently being threatened, and the more people can stand up for those people who maybe can't stand up for themselves, or maybe don't have the right resources or everything, I feel like the better. And I hope that by saying something, then I don't know, I hope, I don't really know exactly what my intention was with talking about this. I just feel like it's something that I've been faced with so much recently, and it's been really, really harmful, and I feel like I don't typically talk about politics on either of my channels, and I also don't typically talk about it or do much relating to it in my social life with anyone else, even people that I know. I typically don't really, it's not my main topic that I discuss, but stuff is really, really not okay right now. And I just, if anyone else who's watching this is autistic, just know that whatever they try to make you believe about yourself is not true. And putting a blanket statement over any type of person is not okay. In any situation, regardless of politics. Even with politics, I feel like I don't like when blanket statements are made of this entire political party is awful, this entire political party is good. I don't even like that, even though I do have a side that I align with more. Blanket statements I just don't think should be made in situations like this. But for anyone who is autistic and who is having a hard time right now, that is valid, and there are other people experiencing that at the same time, so you're not you're not going through it by yourself. I feel like this is very interesting, having a serious discussion with really loud dog snoring at the same time. But yeah, everyone who is having a hard time with this is valid. If your community or whoever diagnosed you or anything like that did not give you and your family the support that they needed to understand you, or that you needed to understand yourself, that is not your fault. You are not ruining your family. If you are capable of working a job and paying taxes and having a relationship and having a close to normal life, then go do it. I know that is not realistic for all autistic people, but it's also not realistic for all allistic people either. And so I don't know. I wasn't really intending to talk about this, but I've been thinking about it a lot the last few days. It's been kind of constantly something that I cannot stop thinking about, and I did want to say something about it since I do talk about being autistic so much. I wasn't necessarily expecting for it to be in this video, but it just kind of happened, and I feel like hopefully if any other autistic people needed some sort of reassurance about that what they say about you is not true, I wanted to say it because I've been learning about my own symptoms and everything for the past couple years, and it's taken me a lot of time to kind of forgive myself is not exactly the right word, but to kind of reject things that were said to me where I was the problem and I'm inconveniencing everyone else and I don't deserve the same support as other people. And it's hard to unlearn stuff like that. And I have been working really hard to feel like I definitely don't have the same abilities, for me personally, as a non-autistic person. There are always things that I will struggle with. There are always things where I will not be able to do something like that without assistance. But there are things that I can do, and I just need to figure out what place fits my abilities and my strengths, and this blanket statement of all autistic people can't do these things, and all autistic people are causing problems for their family or are a burden or whatever. It's really, really hurtful because a lot of autistic people are already told that, or things like that by society, by teachers, by so many people, and most of the time it isn't true. But if we allow people, even people in our own government, to spread that misinformation, those blanket statements, all this stuff that's just really, really, really stigmatizing something that's already really overly stigmatized, it will cause a lot more harm to autistic people who already don't receive enough support, especially autistic adults. Almost all autistic support programs are designed for children. If you're diagnosed later, you pretty much don't have anything. If you grow out of assistance programs, it's really hard to have support as an autistic adult. And this kind of thing about autism as a disease that needs to be cured is, first of all, not true. Second of all, even more damaging because it's perpetuating that autistic people need to be fixed to conform into society and all this stuff. So, I definitely was not expecting to talk about this, but I do feel a little bit better now that I have. And I just feel like what I will leave this video with is, regardless of what your political party is, regardless of what your ability or lack of ability is, whether you're neurodiverse, whether you're queer, whether you're completely, quote, normal, straight, not neurodiverse, everything is exactly how the, quote, perfect person would be. Everyone struggles with stuff. It doesn't matter if they have a diagnosed disability or not. There are things that people are better at or worse at. There are things that everyone can relate to, and I think that as a society and as just a whole species, people need to stop being so caught up on these arbitrary boundaries of political affiliation and think about what other people are going through more. And that's not to say that everyone has to suddenly love people who disagree with them or who have really different values. But I feel like if the world was a little more open-minded and tried to understand another perspective, rather than being so set in they know correctly about how something is for a person of a demographic that they are not, things would be better. And so this got really ranty and really serious. I didn't necessarily intend for that, but I do feel like it needed to be said. And I will play one more day because I want to be able to end this video on more positive, fun supermarket simulator note. So I will finish the rant part and just play a day of this fun game that I am able to work this simulated job. I also did not order any more stuff today, which might be a problem, but also, I don't know. Also, I think that the new achievements are not working because I already did one of them and it didn't show that I got an achievement, so I don't really know if that's something that they're gonna fix or how that's gonna work, because I have gotten a loan and also paid off a loan, so I'm not really sure. It seems like that's a really recent update, though. I think from like the last couple days. I don't actually know when it came out, but pretty recent. Customers come in so slowly. I keep seeing the empty shelves and feeling like I'm sold out of something rather than just, oh, I don't have any products to put on there yet. But I am excited to start this playthrough as a I never take loans playthrough. We'll see if that's something doable. Because I feel like that would be a kind of fun challenge. And I've played this several times where I just play it however I want. And spontaneously take loans whenever I want. But I've been doing kind of a challenge version of Stardew Valley when I live stream, and also in Clothing Store Simulator there are no loans. And even before I started playing that, I kind of had the idea it would be kind of fun to challenge myself to try and play this game without ever taking a loan after the first loan. And I want to keyword try, to do that. Because it just seems like a really interesting way to play, because I was commenting about this when I was playing Clothing Store Simulator, but it seems like in that game, well, first of all, loans are not a thing, but also, because they're not a thing, it's designed where the growth of your store makes sense with how much you earn. You can then kind of naturally unlock upgrades as you need them. And in this game, it is a little bit more, I don't know if challenging is the right word, but it's a little bit more dependent on the fact that loans are there and exist. And you can play without loans, but like at first you start with $50. You can't get all of these items that you need for $50. And so either you have a first day where everyone leaves dissatisfied because you just don't have what they need, or you have to take the first loan. And then later, it's just kind of trying to loop you into a whole situation where you need loans. I want to try playing without that and see how it works. Clothing Store Simulator, you actually start with, I think it was like $2,000? Something where it's definitely enough that you can do all the stuff you need to do without loans, because they don't even have loans. But, it's definitely interesting. They're very similar games. Also, I was gonna try to not, buy more inventory, but I'm desperately in need of pasta right now. I think also this. Yep. I'll check you out in a second. I need pasta. I'm gonna run out, and then everyone's gonna be upset with me, which is not ideal. There's a also trash on the floor. That's the thing I really like about Clothing Store Simulator. People drop stuff on the floor the way they do in this game, but you can pick it up and put it back on the shelves. Like, they'll either throw it on the ground or leave stuff in the dressing room, and then you have to grab it and put it back. But it's so nice being able to put it back and not just have it go in the trash. And I get, like, food safety is different than just, like, a piece of clothing. But if someone drops a box of cereal, it's not like they dropped the individual cereal on the ground. Yay. Also, already, just, like, however many days in this is, I have gotten pretty good income. I've paid off my entire first loan. Only loan, hopefully. And everything is going really well. So it's like, I don't want to get another loan where I'll just put myself into debt and then I won't be able to do the stuff that I need to do and just, yeah. I want to, when can I get a janitor? I can. That's expensive for now, though, so probably not yet. But with that said, I am going to leave this here. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for listening to my rant about how autistic people are just as worthy of support and understanding and being able to do stuff and given credit for the stuff they're able to do as everyone else. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!